I'm going to show you guys a really easy way to be able to import a bunch of IDs into APX CPS. This has saved me a ton of time when I'm trying to load in, maybe hundreds of IDs for an agency. So normally you would go into your unified call list, you would add a contact, open up the folder, and enter in all the data based on whatever it is, and you'd have to do that for each ID. But let me show you a way easier way to do this. So you're going to open up this website, which I will link down below in the description. This is a tool. We're going to be using the Unified Call List Builder. So we'll go ahead and open this up. And we are essentially going to be creating a XML import file, which will import into the programming software that will fill out all of those fields for us. So in order to do this, we're going to click here and download an Excel spreadsheet just so we can get everything formatted. And it'll make this process a lot easier when dragging and dropping into the software. So once you open up that Excel file, this is going to take you to the instructions page. Feel free to read through this. It kind of explains everything, what's going on. But we are going to jump right into the Systems tab. And this is where you're going to input all of your system information. So if we jump back over to CPS for just a second, for this demonstration, I'm going to be showcasing a trunking system, but this works for any of the signaling types. So we're going to do the statewide trunking system. So in that first column, it asks you for the P25 trunking alias. That alias is going to be the trunking system name right here. It's whatever you have it named. It doesn't matter if that's the actual system name or if that's just what you've called it. It is case sensitive, so when you type that in, if it's capital, you need to make sure it's capital. So this is statewide. And then we are going to need the WACN, which for most Motorola public safety systems is going to be BEE00, but you can confirm that again in the programming software. And then you're also going to need the system ID. This is probably going to be different for you guys. For me, it is just one. Again, if we look over in CPS here, you'll see the WACN is right here, and your system ID is just below it. Okay, so now that we have the system type set up, there is also in here if you're doing a type 2 trunking system, if you're doing P25 conventional, or if you're doing MDC signaling, all that data will be entered on this page. But let's head over to the unified call list. So in this first column here, this is going to be your contact name. So this is what's going to appear on the radio screen when someone keys up. This is the name, whatever it might be, Fire Department Portable 1, Fire Department Portable 2, whatever it's going to be. And then over here is your unit ID. So let's go ahead and load some data in just so we can play around with it. Okay, I have gone ahead and imported just some sample data so that we can kind of look at what's going on here. So over here on the left, like I said, these are all of our contact names. So we got some portables, we got some police department cars, some fire engines, and then a whole bunch of other names. You can put whatever you want in here. I believe the limit is 14 characters in CPS, so just keep that in mind. Try not to duplicate names, but it will allow it. And then over here is the associated unit ID. So this is whatever your radio's ID is. So if we look at the CPS and you're in your trunking system still, if your unit ID is 1 and you come over here, let's make this unit ID 1. So now my radio that I'm programming right now on everyone else's screen is going to show up as FD Portable 1. So that's how that works. Now you'll notice that this column G over here is red, so we need to fix that. We need to select our system type, which we're doing P25 trunking, and then we need to also select our system alias. So this is that statewide system. It will auto-populate. Now you don't need to select that for all of them because in Excel you have your fill handle, so you can just fill all of that information down by dragging in the bottom right corner. And you'll see over here in the blue section, it has auto-populated all of this data for us. Alright, and this is pretty much it unless you're going to be using hot lists. Now if you don't know what a hot list is, this is kind of think of it as your favorites in your contacts. So maybe if you're on the same shift with the same people every night and you want to have their contacts at the top of the list so that it's really easy to send them a message or page them, whatever it might be, you're going to want to create a hot list. So if we go over to this tab here, It's going to ask you for your list1 alias. If we look at our CPS, just to know what that name is, in my case it's going to be list1 with list being all caps. So we're going to type in list1. And then from here, it'll give you a drop-down menu of all of your context that you just created in the last tab. So let's say that I want the FD portable, which is my radio, to be at the top of the list. So I will select that right here. And there is more tabs down here for the other types of signaling systems if you want to create a hot list for those. But for today's purposes, we're just doing trunking. Okay, this is all that we need to do over here in the Excel file, so let's jump back over to the website. Okay, this is what's actually going to create the XML file. So first thing we need to do is we need to import our trunking system. Over here in Systems on the Excel sheet, we are just going to copy, and then we're going to paste that data right there, just like that. Now in section 2 here, this is going to be our unified call list table. If we go to our UCL tab over here, we are going to select from range B5 all the way down to E, however far your data goes. For me, it's going to be E154. We're going to copy that, come over here to data, and we're going to paste that in. Now all of our data has populated in here. We didn't have to type any of that out manually. And then down here for section 3, this is where you're going to import your hot list data. Make sure that you check this box, include P25 Trunking hot list in your import file. Over here in our hot list tab, we are just going to select in the green right here, copy that, and paste it right there. Now we have done everything that we need to do on this site, so let's go ahead and generate our XML file. Scroll all the way down to the bottom and click generate. This has now created that file and downloaded it for us, so let's jump back over to CPS and actually upload it. The final step we need to do is importing the file. So to do that, back on CPS, you're going to go up to the Motorola logo in the top left corner. You're going to select import, and then you're going to select wherever the file you saved it onto your computer. In my case, it is right here. And then I'm going to click on open. This little window will open here, and this is where you'll select exactly what you want to import from that file. In my case, we want to select everything, so this is both the unified call list and that hot list that we created, and we're simply going to select import. And the program has done the work for us. You can see all of our IDs have now been imported in here automatically. If we also look down here at our trunking hot list, you'll see it has created that list with that contact in there, just like we created it. That is all you need to do. As you can see, it was pretty quick, even with us switching back and forth between tabs to copy things over, but that definitely saved a lot of time. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate, leave them down below. I will do my best to answer them, and thank you guys so much for watching.